Welcome to the Fireside podcast. It is I, Plippy McGee, or Spoopy McGee, as I like to call myself these days, as it is Halloween. With me, as always, is the Gamer of Ages. Say hello.
Hey, hello.
And we have Doge Queen. Say hello.
Hi, I won't fall asleep this time.
Cool. And we have the Golden Unicorn. Roy's here. Say hello, Roy. There we go.
That works.
So yeah, I decided to go live straight away because what we always do is we talk about stuff before we get on air. So when we get on air, we've got nothing to talk about. So, Devin Ferrossi, eh?
Oh boy.
I wasn't sure you were going to actually lead with that.
Oh, I am.
Well, he's quite we could talk a lot about him.
Shall we just advise the listeners, the rabid listening audience waiting on every word right now, of what he has recently said that brought him up?
Should we give a brief background?
All right, we'll give him the quickie. The quickie is, as we all know, that Donald Trump, you know, that really, really likable guy running to be president of those United States of America.
Woohoo!
Hey.
Long may he reign.
Who is running purely on "I'm not Hillary." Got a 5-year, what was it, 10-year, 9-year? Yeah, a 9-year-old recording of him having what I consider to be a very, very creepy conversation. I'm told that lots of blokes. I've been told lots of blokes talk like this, but I'm just saying it, not me.
I've heard this sort of thing referred to in England as lad banter.
Oh yeah, banter.
Yeah, it was people who didn't see it. Well done, congratulations for not seeing it. What happened? He was coming up to this media event, and he was there with his little weird mate, and they were he was talking about how many sexual triumphs he had.
The little weird mate in question is a member of the Bush family.
Oh yeah,
Billy Bush. And the thing is that listening to the discussion that they were having before they actually go inside or meet anybody, it's Billy Bush mainly talking and rambling on about how awesome it is to be with Donald and haven't you scored a lot of moon in your life, and oh my God, I'm just so happy to be here. And he's just the cringe factor.
I know.
Listening to this guy fanboying, and at one point, and Trump is speaking frankly and bluntly, like he normally does. It's like, oh yeah, when you're a celebrity, you can practically grab a woman, by the pussy, and it just comes right out and says that. It's like, okay, he's not saying he has. He's not saying that he's raped or molested anybody. He's saying it's that easy when you're a celeb in Hollywood, and he's right.
And to be completely fair to him, he was talking about his complete sexual failure on his part. That's what he was talking about.
He was bashing himself for not scoring. The worst he said about himself was that he was overly forward.
So they're pulling up and they see this attractive lady who's going to be the host of a TV show they're going to appear on. And it's like, oh, look at her. Oh, you're going to score, man. You're going to score, man. He was like, oh, stop it. Look at her legs. Stop it. Just stop it. My lungs are beginning to be crushed by all the cringing I'm doing.
I'm actually coughing on coffee.
So they get off said bus and they go over to him. And they're like, hello, how are you? Yes, that's good. And and the other little weird guy, he was like, are you going to give Donald a hug? Go on, give him a hug. And hug me. And hug me. And it goes on really cringy. You go, which one of us would you like to date? Which one of us? And it was like, oh my God, you're grown men.
Oh, dear.
So
I think Sargon did Sargon of a Cat actually did a really good video just taking that apart. You can't look at this and not cringe. It's just horrible.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he said some things which are politically unacceptable. They're socially unacceptable. They're also standard Hollywood lad banter. Yeah, you can't get away. And that's what he was doing. And he was, big. He was big in, doing The Apprentice and other stuff at the time. Access Hollywood, for crying out loud. That was the show. So go figure.
Yeah, I mean, hell, he was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I think, a couple of episodes, if I remember right.
He's in lots of TV shows. He's appeared all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean,
He was in Home Alone.
Yes, he was in Home Alone. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I have no respect for Trump, but this whole thing just seems to be getting blown out of proportion by people just trying to take it and say, he's just admitted to sexual assault. Really?
I'm sorry, but if you're upset the fact he says I could grab a girl if I wanted to, versus he would bring back waterboarding. Waterboarding's worse, guys. Just putting it out there.
All right. Well,
not saying either's good, but if you're going to get outraged.
Son of a bitch, and then you have Devin Fireside, or is it Faraci?
Devin.
I say Ferocity.
Well, I'm trying to think of a good pun for this that matches.
I go Fireside.
Yeah.
Faraci.
More like Devin Faraci.
Devin Fawcett in me. No, it doesn't work. No. But Devin Fawcett, and if I can find who is, because someone archived these.
Oh, I do actually have like a picture of it at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
I can screen share that at the moment.
Yeah, screen share that.
So, now, some of you may know who Devin Fawcett is. Some of you don't. And, all right.
Get
So
me
this is when he was...
ISIS, number one.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so first, what he's saying here, the most telling thing about the Trump tape, he wasn't talking with his best friend, he was boasting it to a TV host. And then we have this surprising revelation. Quick question, do you remember grabbing me by the pussy and grabbing to our friends about it, telling them to smell your fingers?
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
The fucking irony.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
Well, it's not
better
even
too.
so much. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, actually, he replies immediately to this person saying, I do not remember this. I can only believe you and beg forgiveness for having been so vile. Oh.
This is something that could legitimately land him in jail.
Yes. And he's still pathetic.
It's just how it shows that he's a true believer in the male feminist ally concept, where it's like I listen and believe it even when it's self-incriminatory. And in the process of trying to fulfill this fruit bat ideology of his, he incriminates himself as a sexual molester, as possibly somebody who committed assault.
Mm-hmm. It was like, what was the guy who did, Apple's here in the background. Hey, Apple.
Oh, hello. We're going straight into Devin Fawcett. Actually,
Devin Fawcett's going straight into other people.
Actually, should we give a brief background on this guy? Maybe some people don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So Devin Fawcett is unfortunately, in my case, a Canadian games developer. Although I don't think
He's a film reviewer, isn't he?
He's a film reviewer as well. Oh, I thought wasn't he?
I thought he was just a film reviewer.
Oh, wasn't he the guy that did I Take This Call Every Day?
No, that's David Gallant. You always get those two confused.
Sorry. All right, well, he's a film reviewer who, to be honest, his reviews are kind of shit, to be honest.
He's not a nice chap. He's one of those people that, once he's decided that you're a bad person, he can say whatever he wants about you.
Oh, okay.
One of those people.
I did a quick Yahoo search.
All right.
The very first thing that comes up is his own Twitter account. Okay, he's most famous for Twitter.
Are you blocked by him, though?
Then he has an entry. There's an article on him at birthmoviesdeath.com, which starts off just glowingly. Let me reload it. While some may say he is the greatest critical mind of his time, Devin Fawcett humbly insists that he is only the voice of a generation. When not mainlining anime, Devin is the editor-in-chief of Birth Movies Death.
Oh, no.
He has been writing about movies online since there was a 21st century.
Oh. Sorry, 1 second. I'm going to take a swig of this.
One thing I did notice, he was the guy that he says stuff like, No, he said Gamergate are worse than ISIS. He did that one.
Yes.
Oh God, yeah.
He also did this amazing thing saying, if you don't like Jessica Jones, it's probably because you're a sexist. Honestly.
Show was decent, but Jesus Christ, it's something to get hung up.
It's not the greatest show I've ever seen.
It's passable.
It's fine.
It's passable.
It's fine.
But you're surely entitled to like or not like a show. Like,
I like the fact that immediately after Farassi's own self-aggrandizing about himself, the next most popular items are why Devin Farassi is unfit to practice journalism, Devin Farassi the biggest loser, and then his own Facebook entry.
Oh.
This,
But if you want to know a character witness for old Devin Farassi, he's good friends with the movie Bob.
Oh.
Who says he's the kind of guy you want to have on your side in an online flame war.
Movie Blob.
Movie Splat. The superior being.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
the no bad tactics guy. Only
Yeah.
bad turn.
The guy who literally acts like a fucking Nazi.
Yeah, the guy who keeps saying how certain people shouldn't be allowed to vote or have their opinions heard.
Oh yeah,
Because he wants his superior future. That's creepy.
We forget we are hung back by the ignorant masses and toward our superior future.
Mm-hmm.
That
movie, Bob,
an
yeah.
actual comment from him.
Yeah, that was.
Why
Oh
is it
God,
all
there
of
was
these
so much shit on
people?
him.
I shouldn't say all because I hate universal terms, but why is it like 90% plus of these of the people in these circles think extremely high of themselves and yet wind up molesting women and children?
Well, I think it's the idea. It's the idea that now that they're part of this ideology, they are untouchable and shit like that.
Oh, they think they get a free pass or something?
Yeah, I think it's either that or they are just willfully ignorant.
How I've always had this mentality, this interesting thinking. Because you hear about these the lady folk who keep talking about how all men are horrible, all men are scum, all men are this, all men are that. Usually from the San Francisco area. And if you look at all the men that they're friends with, you go, these guys are all creeps.
Yeah,
They're like prematurely balding, beady glasses men.
Yeah, speaking of which, David Gallant, the guy who thought in order to dissuade trolls or, just people disagreeing with him, he would post a picture of him looking towards the camera with his ass in it.
Yeah, that's really going to put off the trolls. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to be,
And then you had Dan Olson, who attempted to out 8chan as a hub of child pornography and wound up distributing himself.
Yeah, his brilliant idea to blame and to claim that 8chan is a hub of child pornography was to upload it himself.
Yes.
It wasn't even that. Even if he got it from 8chan, I mean, I've been on chans for a few years. I think I saw what could have been child porn once. I'm not even sure because I didn't look at it. I saw something.
It's a chan and stuff does happen, but 8chan has no tolerance for it. They're under U.S. law, and if it breaks U.S. law, they do quash it.
Mm.
Yeah, 4chan and 8chan, even I think they have a strict no tolerance policy for kitty fiddling.
Yeah, all the stuff that the guy pulled came from dead boards, stuff that had already been moderated and killed. But we're still, effectively, the internet never forgets. It's on an archive somewhere.
Exactly, and that leads us to suspect how he actually got these pictures.
Yeah, he would have had to do quite a lot of digging to get to it.
Boy, he knew those site links already.
Yeah.
Oh God, don't start.
What I really liked was, that he knows Sarah Nyberg, who we do know is a pedophile with a history, that sort of thing. So there are connections actually to possible pedo rings.
Yes, and Crash, and they were both in the Crash Override network.
Yeah, and also, need we forget, I think Feminist Frequency's Twitch moderator, pedophile, and has been put on the sex offenders list, and he's actually been restricted from going near a school.
And he was
At
immediately fired as soon as that was outed.
Yeah, at least they fired him. That's a good change from what we normally get.
Well, that's the thing is
with feminist frequency.
Sarkeesian's group actually cares about their image and not really
Yeah, they're a lot smarter about
yeah, they're not stupid. Their ideas are dumb, but to be perfectly honest, I think a lot of that is snake oil salesman material.
They're not clever the butts.
Yeah, they're telemarketers.
Yeah.
They know exactly how to do well. I mean, at least Sarkeesian is. I mean, I guess this must be why she fired Jonathan McIntosh.
Well, they broke up, I think. That's the dirty scoop. That's the dirty scoop.
Did they really have a relationship? I don't think so. I mean,
can you picture Jonathan McIntosh? I don't know. I think he's a sex crier. You know what I mean?
No, I think McIntosh is actually genuine. He's a true believer type.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that he's ever put out indicates that he actually believes what he's talking about. And so if you have somebody who comes along who is a charismatic individual who also knows how to take advantage of that sort of person, like Anita, he could easily have just abased himself to try and promote what he thought was justice.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of the reasons why Anita doesn't go to debates or anything like that, because she knows she'd get destroyed in an argument.
I saw her on a thing at the Australian. They're doing this feminist conference at the Australian Opera House, I think it was, the Sydney Opera House.
I saw that.
And it seemed to be so strange that she never spoke off the cuff at all. Everything she said was written down. It was a bit odd.
Well, of course it is. Of course it is. I don't think she really believes anything she says, and if you don't believe in something, you'll have a harder time remembering it. So
Jermaine Greer didn't believe her. Jermaine Greer was looking at her like she was a crazy person. She was. This is when she famously said, "Everything is sexist, everything is racist. You have to point it all out." And she also says, "Women should not be allowed to choose."
Yeah, because sometimes they make choices that hurt the sisterhood. That was her actual argument.
Yeah,
and we can't have that. So
that's crazy.
She's saying that choice feminism is a bad version of feminism.
Oh God, ew.
And then you have getting back to Farasi. He's essentially from that same mold of I must sacrifice myself for ladies as I see them needing my assistance. It's
well, except when I want to fuck them right in the pussy.
Elegant.
No. It's now grab them by the. Get it right.
Oh,
you're off in the distance there.
No, I'm actually right by my phone.
Oh, there we go. Now you're.
There we go.
There we are. Okay, but other thing that this lady accused Farasi of is a quick question. Do you remember the grabbing? I've been forced to think about a lot of it since these Trump tapes came out. And then she goes on, literally stuck his hands down my pants at a bar when I told him to stop, and he told his friends he finger banged me.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Sitting here trying to remember if a man ever grabbed me by the vagina against my will, and yes, once, a popular Twitter feminist. Ooh, that's creepy.
Oh, that's fucking...
I know I'm using that word an awful lot, but this stuff does creep me out. Sorry.
What I particularly like, though, is that this legitimately makes Farasi worse than Trump.
It does, because he actually did it.
Yeah, he himself asserts. I mean, he says, "I don't remember one way or the other, but I will agree that I did." It's like all Trump did was talk about it.
Mm-hmm. All he said he was such a big celebrity that he could do it whenever he wanted.
Oh.
Well,
even then, he didn't fucking do it.
If Luke wanted to,
we don't know. We don't.
It's the same kind of thing rock stars say.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
This is the thing. One could imply that he's saying that he has done that, but it requires inferring that and leaping to the conclusion. It could go either way. If you just want to take it at face value, he's just talking smack. But here you have Farasi saying, well, no, I'll take full responsibility for that. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
And if you watch the Trump tapes till after he gets off the bus, he doesn't even really kiss the woman. He just does little
Oh,
Side
no,
kiss.
Awkward
that was
hug.
that was a chick. Yeah, I was going to say
That's
chick.
like a formal
Cheek
thing.
peck.
Yeah.
It's a cheek peck. It's the kind of thing that you see in Hollywood all the time.
Well, also it's kind of a formal thing. Like
And also it was
Yeah.
what Billy Bush was pushing for. Trump didn't go up and just force himself on her, even though he had said, "Yeah, I just go up and kiss beautiful women all the time. I can't help it." He's clearly quite able to restrain himself until Billy pushes him into it.
yeah,
Billy's saying, like, go ahead, give the Donald a hug. Go ahead, give him a hug. She's like,
Billy is
"No."
a bad influence.
He,
I don't think he's an
a member of
influence
the
on
Bush
anyone.
family.
I think he's just a creepy guy.
He's the member of the Bush family nobody ever heard of,
Oh,
and
that's
is
bad.
clearly trying to elbow himself into the limelight.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
this is the same family with Jeb in it. Think about that one.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the guacamole man.
He loves his
Yeah.
guac. And he has these little tortoises. He has little tortoises.
Oh, that's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Oh, I love tortoises.
He has a bucket little tortoises that to just give to children. You know, nothing untoward.
Nothing creepy about that.
No. Hello, little child. Would you like a little tortoise? I keep them on me at all times, just in case I come across children.
I have tortoises all the way down.
Oh boy. But this is, you know, we were talking earlier about Devin Frosty. Basically, he says, I don't remember it, but I'm willing to prostrate myself under these charges. It reminds me of the guy who did Max Temkin, I think that's his name, who did Cards Against Humanity.
Oh yeah.
A girl accused him of raping her in college, and he actually was told to, by Zoe Quinn, of all people, to not fight it, even if he's innocent. Don't defend himself. And it's just like, what?
That's
and
crazy.
then he didn't.
Everyone should have a right to defend themselves.
I think his whole thing is if you deny it, it just makes all rape victims out to be liars. And it's like, no one's saying that.
No, they are saying it. That's the problem.
Yeah, they're saying it. I'm just saying that.
If you buy into his philosophy, you can never say, you're going to need evidence for that charge, or it applies to everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's clear cut. That's why he said, "Oh yeah, I don't remember, but sure."
Wow, this is a really glum stream.
And Nonsensical, also known as Nicole Sund, responded by saying, "Sounds like Devin Faraci can make the games industry better for women by removing himself from it."
Hey, that's wonderful.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but there's just I thought this Trump thing would be something to talk about. This Faraci thing was like, oh boy, that's not a good look.
It does tie in.
Yeah,
and he is a dirtbag.
Yeah, Faraci makes me wonder. Okay, the level of intelligence we're dealing with.
He doesn't strike me as very bright.
Exactly, and that's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, it's kind of like Moviebot, because Moviebot thinks he's a really sort of like erudite, articulate thinker.
Yeah, he's like the second coming of philosophers or something like that. But in reality, he's just a sad old man that, even though he doesn't live with his parents, he still lives in a basement, apparently.
And he's not very bright or funny. That's my big point.
What's really getting me is how the whole thing with Trump even exploded in the first place over this. It's very clearly a bunch of manufactured garbage about. You really have to read into the video to even come to these conclusions in the first place. And it looks like the stuff they've been shopping around just clips out the nasty bits that he said with zero context. So it's like, this is entirely a hit piece, and virtually the entire GOP is like, nope, that's our excuse. Bail, you are a horrible person, Mr. Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Which has led to a recent political cartoon that just came out this morning. A lovely picture of a huge eagle looking down very grumpily at a very small and frightened-looking elephant with GOP on the back. And the eagle is marked at Trump voters.
This is not new though. This is even though I think was the guy who shot that kid. Now it's done. The guy who did the Trayvon Martin thing, right? The guy who killed him, I think, is a complete scumbag. But when they actually put out tapes of his call to the police, they edited it to make it sound like he was saying something else.
Yeah, they also edited footage of him arriving at the police station to remove evidence that he was actually bleeding.
You know, actually, I've thought about this. Just to go back to the Pelosi thing for 1 second.
One Angry Gamer has just come out with an article on him already.
Oh boy,
that's quick. That is quick.
So he says he does not remember this. Well, let's think about it. If he's got no memory of something that's really bloody violating, like, you know, you're literally grabbing like a girl's pussy and shit like that, like, you know, fucking actually violating her. Like, if you don't remember that, that implies that shit is common to him.
Or one who's very drunk, which is fine. But even when drunk, that's when people get the most honest. And if he is a Captain Rampaging, beardy male feminist type, wouldn't he basically, even when drunk, go, I should not do this?
I guess, but even then, like, something... I'm just judging this based on, well, one, he was already a creepy fucker anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just judging, like, you know, does he not remember... think about it like this. He'd be thinking, oh, which night did I do that? Was it like Tuesday or was it Wednesday? Did I do it with Denise or did I do it with Sammy? I don't know at this point. So, yeah.
The thing is, even if you did...
Yeah.
If you did it, well, if I'm going back to, okay, he was at a bar, maybe drunk. Even if he was drunk, he'd probably wake up the next morning, remember, and go, oh, boy.
I guess, but even then, you know, actually, one thing I find funny is that, remember, Devin Pelosi is the same guy who wrote an article calling the Angry Video Game Nerd.
Oh, yeah.
As well, for those
who
don't know.
Over the Ghostbusters thing, yeah.
For saying that he wasn't going to see the new Ghostbusters. And it wasn't even anything to do with the actresses. It was because, well, he just didn't think the film was as right.
You're roboting quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm getting that too.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, he didn't shit all over the movie. He was just saying this is a movie that didn't need to happen. He barely mentioned the fact that women were involved. And that only to say, do we just call this the female Ghostbusters? Is that how it's going to be known?
Yeah, no, he never said anything about it. He actually wrote about James Rolfe. Look at this limp-dicked loser on Twitter with a picture of him.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, yeah, I've just found his article here. Yeah.
Instantly personal, no thoughtful commentary whatsoever. Just immediately goes to personal attacks.
Yeah.
On a guy who had made none.
Yes, he made absolutely no personal attacks whatsoever. I think it's just, as I said, the guy's not a cool guy.
Yeah. He's a
I mean, I've seen people who get riled up, and after a while of exchanges, they'll get into that shit. But with Fireside, it's just like, I must immediately go on the offensive because he has besmirched the idea that this movie won't be good.
He went 0 to 60 in 3.5.
Yeah. I will say, this is like, I've noticed this. This has been like the third or fourth, like, you know, person that, like, feminist person that's turned out to be guilty of sexual misconduct. Because the guy before this, you know, Doge, maybe I think I may have told this to you at some point, but maybe not. But the previous guy pretended to be like a pornography photographer, and what he would do is that he'd say, "Oh, if you let me," he'd go up to, like, you know, beautiful women and shit. It's like, "Hey, if you let me photograph you naked and let me have sex with you to gauge your skill, I'll get you into the pornography industry."
That's creepy.
Yeah, it's fucking creepy. And guess what? He's another one of these types where
Did
he
he-
called out people for being sexist.
I'm amazed that even worked, to be honest.
It's looking more and more like it's very common. What people used to joke about and say, well, they're probably just doing this to hook up with girls. It sounds like that is exactly what a lot of them are doing.
Oh, exactly. I mean, it turns out that meme magic is a fucking thing.
Oh, well, I've actually found Ferocity via archive. So he's not getting any clicks. Ferocity's piece on James Rolfe, done the next day after he did that Refuse video. I'm going to give you a snippet of what it sounds like. I'm not going to read the whole thing, I don't think. But here we go. Here we go. The soft sexism of hating on Ghostbusters. You don't have to be sexist to dislike this movie, but it helps. By Devon Ferocity. Yesterday, a guy who goes by the nom de YouTube Angry Video Game Nerd uploaded a video entitled Ghostbusters 2016, No Review, I Refuse. Seated next to the merch from dismal franchise entry Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, he proceeds to explain why he will not be seeing the new Ghostbusters reboot. The Angry Video Game Nerd was at its best, very least better at making points than I have seen otherwise online. I've seen a number of morons complain that the reboot's jokey nature disrespects the serious horror aspects of the original. And it's just... Yeah, it goes on to casual and thinking sexism. I have been anti-Ghostbusters 3. Yeah, it's just an awful lot of why weren't you boycotting Total Recall? Well, I think you have to remember Total Recall was what sort of like broke. I think the RoboCop and the Total Recalls were what made people go, all right, enough.
Yeah, actually, to be honest, they were one of the ones that made people really unpopular with, it made reboots really unpopular because of how shit they were.
Yeah.
The more I look at this thing that he posted, though, the more it sounds like he's trying to apologize without... It's virtue signaling apologia is the phrase I'm looking for, without admitting guilt. But the problem is, when you say, I can only believe you and beg forgiveness for having been so vile, and you just say, I do not remember this, you're essentially ceding your own witness testimony. I'm considering this in terms of, what if she decided to actually press charges against the guy? How would it go down? They would say, you're saying you don't remember this, but you do believe her when she says that you did this, and you beg forgiveness for having done everything that she said.
Yeah, I mean, what...
I think he thought that maybe this would cover his ass legally while still being able to abase himself and get past it.
But it doesn't.
No, it's the opposite.
It doesn't do either.
Nah.
It just fucks him over even more. Because he's confirmed that it fucking happened.
No, he's not confirming it. He's saying, I don't remember this.
But he can totally believe himself doing this.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Which means,
yep, that sounds like me.
Which means this is a more than one-time occasion.
I don't like going... Wow.
That was noisy.
I don't like going from supposition to supposition, because that's how conspiracy theories get started. And I teased on debunking conspiracy theories for fun. I still do. So, in his defense, this is really what I'm trying to look at here. How would this work for him if charges actually were filed? And why would he even make this statement in the first place? I'm just kind of trying to deconstruct it from a logical point of view, and also bearing in mind his ideology and work in those factors.
I think he may... my personal theory is that he sees it as, if I... make due on my sins now, I will be, I will be, I'll be seen as a good guy for, I will never do it again, or something like that. That's how it seems.
I don't dare face her down, but so I have to admit something, but I need to do it in such a way that I'm not really admitting. Technically. Hence, I don't remember.
Yeah, but knowing him, I mean, knowing from what I've seen from his interactions on Twitter and just in general, he's just going to dig himself a bigger hole. I mean, who knows?
It's looking like it.
It is a pretty serious accusation to make, though.
Yeah, and he's done nothing to dissuade it. That's the thing that's had everyone like really, you know.
I mean, this isn't
Fed into it. He fed it.
Mm-hmm. This is not like he said. This is not like the accusation was, you came on to me, or we were kind of getting on, but you went too fast, or were too aggressive. This was, you walked up to me, fingered me, and went back to your mates to go smell it.
Yeah,
That's pretty.
Literally claiming that he did a pussy grab like Trump was describing.
Yeah. Oh.
And she even tied that in. She even said, she brought this up because of the current controversy about Trump.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this weird boomerang effect.
I think for us, he was actually, doing his, the traditional bashing of how awful Trump was. I think that's what started her off.
Yeah, well, at the same time, I'm inclined to believe that she may have made the whole thing up. She may actually have just made it up, essentially doing the look, I'm a victim, and this Trump thing's in the news, so I'm going to come up with a similar story. But Fariside's kind of like, yeah, but my ideology prevents me from denying it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing.
So I don't remember. It could just be him trying to politely remind her that's bullshit without saying so.
Hey, do you want to stop screen sharing because we're seeing everything you're looking at here?
Oh, no. Oh, I figure this is kind of appropriate.
That is glorious. Keep it up. That is glorious. Keep it up.
I'll keep this up because I figure this is kind of appropriate. I mean, for the topic.
Stalin being shocked at queer socialism while Hitler laughs in the background.
Yeah. Well, he's just like, this is like what socialism becomes. And Hitler's just laughing in the background.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You may have won the battle, Stalin, but you have not won the war.
This is how you will be remembered. This is your legacy.
Look at that. Just look at this panicked expression.
This ain't your daddy's, or this ain't your fascist dictator socialism. This is something unique.
Oh, Sucre Bouillette, what have I done?
Don't watch this, Boris.
That's a perfect likeness of him, by the way. You never see any formal pictures of Stalin looking shocked, but that is on point.
Yeah, it's great. It's absolutely wonderful.
Great expression.
Good stuff. Poor Stalin. I agree, Jockey. Poor Stalin.
Yeah. Well,
you almost got an Ultima 6 reference out of me for that one.
Oh.
Poor Stalin. Poor Stalin.
It's just that
only old school gamers will get that.
Hang on, is Hitler in heaven laughing down Stalin? Oh God.
Probably, yeah. They're probably like, just both in armchairs, and they're just and he's just laughing as Stalin looks on in horror at the TV screen of the Earth.
Yeah, this is actually their mutual hell. You get to be a disembodied head stuck on a cloud watching all this crap.
So socialism has evolved into something that it won, but it turned into something that they obviously hated.
I have to. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just like, laughing, but I wasn't going to say anything.
Well, I love history. I really do, especially world history, and especially looking into things like how Nazism started. Where was the impetus for it? Same with the Bolshevik Revolution and the fights between the white and red armies. And there was a point at which a red division actually briefly took over Berlin with a revolution, hoping that there would be a massive uprising, which really fed into the Nazi line. The Bolsheviks are coming; they're already here, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the papers that came out at the time, what they were actually saying, the arguments that they made back and forth, it was deeply informed by people we now consider to be legendary philosophers. It was incredibly obtuse by modern standards, and none of these people get what either of them were saying except the most basic concepts.
Exactly.
Marxian dialectics, for crying out loud, confused the hell out of me when I tried to read up on it, but maybe 1 in 100 modern socialists or even diehard communists will understand it either.
I think, because I mentioned this the other day, going back to Feminist Frequencies, Catherine Cross, who's also in the Crash Override Network.
Oh, boy.
I actually tried to watch one of her talks of making a better internet, and I was watching it going, you are deliberately using really, really, really unnecessarily long and not very often, words aren't in the modern lexicon, let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I think every time she hit a third word, she had to sort of like go into a thesaurus, pick the most unused version of unused word of something, and then just put that up.
Just making the most obtuse,
Look at me,
ridiculous.
I'm smart.
I think part of it is look at me, I'm smart. Another one is I don't really want these people to really understand what I'm talking about.
Well, it's like, big words make me. It's the big words make me smart mentality, right? So they think, okay.
If you read up on the personalities of the Third Reich, the people who put all that crap together, you find that one of the weirdest ones was von Ribbentrop.
Oh yeah.
Who could barely read German or write it, let alone French or English, and yet he took over from a career politician to become their main diplomat because he could curry favor with Hitler and he knew how to do that. That's what these people are like. They don't understand the language they're using. They want to curry favor with each other, and they also love to jump to extremes of rhetoric because they think that makes them sound powerful and able to change the world. The more radical they are, the better. That was fucking von Ribbentrop all over. And if there was a single person who you could point to and say, this guy's idiocy dragged Europe into World War before even the Nazis were ready for it, it was him. He was the one who actually told Hitler, oh yeah, you're good to go ahead into Poland. Because he wanted Hitler to think he was smart. That's what these people are like. They're going to set something off just trying to impress one another.
Well, that's pretty much what Gamergate, that event, was.
Are you kidding? They've already set something off. They've already set off BLM.
Yeah, well, BLM is a lot like the Red Guards.
Oh yeah, well BLM is more like them exploiting like a bunch of idiots, really.
Well, yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
If you look at the street fighting that preceded when you started having the Weimar Republic go into collapse, you had communists, Democrats, Nazis, and several other factions all engaging in street battles to prevent each other from being heard. That's what it was all about. It was most of that street fighting wasn't just we hate you so much we're going to kill you. That came later. But it started off as each trying to deplatform the other and then getting more and more violent.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Yes. And we see that with BLM right now. They're leading the way as far as using violence to prevent other people being heard.
I think you'll find that it's like let's bring them up. Milo Yiannopoulos, all the people that protested shows. And an awful lot of them don't even know what he said. I think it was quite a famous one where one guy was interviewed, he didn't know who he was, didn't know what he said, and as it turned out, didn't know what he looked like because apparently the dude walked past him, he didn't recognize him. It's just be offended by this thing, but you can't. But don't really bother looking at what he actually said. Just go out there and try to no-platform them. All
my friends are doing it.
Yeah, therefore it's the right thing to do. Because I'm not a racist, so I'm going to do this.
Well, I don't want my friends to hate me, and they will if I don't show up.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the major factors as to how this got so much traction. It's just disinformation and ignorance.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, that's why I always get sort of frustrated with the news, because whenever they report on something that I actually know about, usually just hi to Wonton. He's in the chat wanting people to say hi to him.
Oh,
Hi.
hello.
Hi, Senpai has noticed you. Now, go drink some bleach, or I'll drink it for you. Actually, that sounds better.
Wow, that
Preferably in
escalated
a
really
nice
quick.
club.
That escalated really, really quick.
I go 0 to 60 in 3.5.
Okay. But, yeah, as I said, as I said, when I watch the news reporting and stuff, I completely forgot what I was talking about there. When I watched the news reporting and stuff I know about, I get really frustrated because I'm just sitting there going, that's not what happened. You're leaving out a really crucial detail here and going on to a conclusion which doesn't make sense if you include that really long lost detail. And you can't not know it. It's a fairly primary thing to have in a story. You feel me, guys?
Yeah.
I feel you, bro.
Yeah, I feel you're pretty damn good.
I just wanted some validation for my point. I thought I was boring the crap out of everyone.
No, it's a very good point.
Thank you. Hey, I'm special.
That's why we didn't really say anything, because we were like, yeah.
I was so profound, I blew everyone speechless.
Yeah, you when you have a good point, you just have the crowd captivated.
I am in the bottom of a pitfall trap because you caught me. You got me real good.
I can actually hear the gears and pulleys working towards your doom. There's something in the background that sounds like that.
Yeah, it's Anyone got anything else want to say about Frosty before we move on to something else?
I think
What is going on?
What the fuck is happening?
What? Stop murdering people!
What the fuck are you doing?
Not on stream, guy. There we go.
Yeah, I think we've beaten the Ferocity thing into the ground because what else can you do with it at this point?
I know.
Well, we could always just, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what other adventures he's been up to. You never know. Maybe he went on an escapade with his friend, Sarah Nyberg.
Whoa, you went from public groper to child molester real quick.
Well, you never know.
They could be related.
Yeah.
No, that'd be incest. I'm sorry. They're not related. The only other thing I would probably say that it is all relevant to this whole thing is that I think the press has bungled greatly by trying to make a huge thing about words Trump said that supposedly belittled women in any way because he's up against Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who, it's kind of like, weren't you people defending her for exactly this kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Bimbo eruptions and the whole mess. Oh my God, he's got so much ammo to just throw back at them. It's like, really, Hillary?
Especially lately with all the leaks that have come out. Especially, when she called disabled kids with like retards and shit like that.
Just yesterday, Trump retweeted Juanita Broderick, the woman who asserts that Bill Clinton raped her at one point.
Yeah.
So people are taking notice of people.
I know people are noticing her because she's publicly said, well, she's doing something quite unique. She's just accusing him. She's not writing a book or selling anything. She's just the accusation.
I think I've nearly drank this whole bottle now. 750 milliliters. Yeah. Don't worry, it's not rum this time. I'm not going that route again.
Good.
It's just
We
a
don't
nice.
need that one again.
It's
Don't
just
need that.
it's a nice big bottle of Belgian beer.
Okay, so well, what's everyone been up to this week? What games? What fun?
I
Boy,
got
I've
my.
been playing. Go ahead. No,
Oh, okay. Sorry. Sorry if I cut you off.
no, I cut you off. I have a bad habit of doing that. I apologize. I blame the coffee. You go ahead.
Well, I got the rest of my PC ordered.
Yay!
Just yesterday.
Yay.
Yeah, it's finally coming. I had to order straight through NVIDIA in order to get the graphics scored. That was a pain in the ass, but that was worth it.
Yep. So you're gonna put it all together, and then you can play games like the real people.
Yeah,
I'm playing King of Fighters 2. Sorry.
That makes
Right
sense.
now.
At this very moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, screw you guys.
Yeah. Well, I will say I have been playing through Mass Effect 2 recently.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's an interesting adventure. Like, you know,
It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite games ever.
I will say it's actually probably the best one I played. Good. Like, this is like the perfect one. The story's good. Like,
Three.
It's got a lot of. It's quite. I like it because it's kind of like in the middle. You don't really know if you're good or not, or like, you know, the service is like actually good or not, and I like that.
Well, that's the thing. They're quite well written because you kind of, at one point, you go, "Yeah, I kind of see what you're doing," and at the end, you're like, "Oh no, you are all really twisted."
Yeah. So this is what you were going for. Oh, I just wanted to stop the collectors. You know.
Oh, I see. When we're on the same side in that regard, but when it comes down to it, I really hate you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, makes sense.
I'm gonna be killing you guys in the next game, and I will be disappointed.
Oh, not really. Not spoiling anything here.
Now, for my end, I actually have a bunch of stuff that I need to be doing for Tech Raptor, including game review, a game called Everspace. I'm not going to gab about it because I'm not promoting it here. Just one thing I'm doing. But for my own personal gaming pleasure, I've actually been doing Fallout 2 with some of the mods.
Yay!
For it.
Nice.
And I've managed to make some of these mods work together. One of them is called Resurrection, which I found out through PC Gamer. Fallout Resurrection actually is a completely new adventure set in New Mexico around Albuquerque. It has nothing to do with any of the rest of it, and so far it is well written. And I managed to overlay the hero modification, which allows you to add the My Little Pony Little Pit mod to it.
Oh.
So I am trotting around the wastes of New Mexico. Believe me, you'll love it if you see the pony get gibbed. There are gib animations.
Oh god! What's the name of this mod again?
It is
Fallout
Fallout Resurrection 1.5 is the one. It's cool, and it even has the cutscenes using the old style animation from Fallout 2, where they're all blobby and sketchy with a lot of static interference looking for it.
Wow.
It looked like it was made in 1998 or something.
I just typed in Fallout 2 and it autocorrected to My Little Pony mod. This mod is very popular.
That's the Little Pit mod, yes.
Gosh darn it.
Now, mind you, it does penalize you for playing a pony because there are no armors that can be fitted aside from the one that comes with the pony.
Oh, okay. That's kind of interesting. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So what you're saying is it punishes you for being a brony.
Yes.
Yeah. Pay for your sins.
Heretic.
You will never have power armor. You will never even have leather. You're running around in a vault suit with whatever guns you got.
You know when before they calmed down, people criticised My Little Pony fans for inserting My Little Pony into literally everything. That's why everyone went nuts.
Oh, it's still
I
going
can sort
on.
of see what they mean here with this one. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's the Fallout 3. That's
That's
actually New Vegas.
That's New Vegas. Yeah.
That's a New Vegas mod.
The New Vegas one is kind of funny. Where I think it's just the head.
No. They have full models, including Jack Legs. There's like 4 different MLP mods for New Vegas.
Oh, I will say that. Okay, I'll give credit. That's kind of impressive.
Oh, look, they got Princess Celestia.
That is Princess Celestia with the pink hair, and she
Wait,
comes
what?
with she comes with special dialogue.
I'll explain it. I'll explain it.
Go on, explain that one. Because I know about it, but it's so weird.
It's basically based off a blog where one of the characters in this fan fiction universe is a molester.
Oh. So does she so unlike Devin Flossie who grabs it, does she just punch the hoof in, or
She has a fun dungeon. Known as the fun dungeon.
for fuck's sake. No, we're not getting into this.
What, you think I wouldn't know about this?
Well, good point, but
Oh, but they're still putting that into everything. I mean, you can look up
My Little Pony Horrigan.
No. They have cartoon pictures of My Little Pony Mob Psycho 100, My Little Pony One Punch Man. I mean, you name it, they have it. Golden Sun, one of my favorite games.
Yeah, there's an internet rule for it now. If it exists, there is pony of it.
Yeah, that's true.
No, it's 3 versions of Rule 34. You have the original, you have the My Little Pony, and you got if it exists, someone somewhere is offended by it.
Oh, that's a good point.
For example, Get of Ages is offended at anything remotely My Little Pony.
Not necessarily.
He gets triggered.
I am impressed by the fact that they made a full model of a pony in Fallout New Vegas. I will say that there's a lot of time and dedication that goes into that, and I will give credit. But even then, I still hate ponies.
Same.
Yeah. My hate from it doesn't actually come from the show. It actually just comes from ponies in general, to be honest.
I've actually watched the show. I've actually watched an awful lot of the show. It's just like this entertaining, kind of amusing show, and then the fan base went nuts with it.
You're saying they took it like...
This is the Bible. It is pretty much that to them.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love how...
Well, it's not some of them. Not all of them. I mean...
It was just like, oh my God. I'm just looking through. Sorry, I'm still looking through this gallery here.
I wouldn't say it's as bad as the. Oh man, what was that? I wouldn't say it's as bad as the Homestuck fandom.
Oh, sure. We don't need to talk about that.
What fandom?
Homestuck.
Homestuck.
The most insufferable.
And yet you're talking to someone who was.
Oh.
And then you have the Fallout 3 mod where you go to Friendship Station and...
Oh.
Yes, Friendship Station is an actual subway station in Fallout 3.
Oh.
That's actually quite good. Like.
I will... Oh.
I kind of want a dating mod for Fallout 3 now. That way I can just take them to Friendship Station and break up with them.
Oh, oh my God.
I'll say this Homestuck thing, I've never come across it before.
Thank God, because
really?
It's kind of a...
Yeah, I've just Googled it. I'm looking at the pictures and I recognize nothing.
Yeah.
Really?
The music's good, the rest of it's not so much.
Yeah, I will say the music's pretty good. Undertale. The guy who did the music for it made the game.
I'll say.
Yeah.
And it's pretty good. It's an alright game.
If you've got absolutely nothing better to do, check it out. If you've got anything better to do, don't check it out.
Yeah.
It is humongous. We're talking thousands of pages.
Hey,
Some
hey,
of
hey,
them
how did
interactive.
Humongous get involved here? He's not involved. He's gone through enough.
Oh.
No,
Humongous what?
game.
I'm sorry, I just had to chime in on that guy's defense.
Oh my god.
Humongous what?
Humongous.
You're actually pointing to your body parts.
Funny.
You're actually pointing to your body parts.
What a calamity of humongous proportions.
I'm sorry, these people should stop videotaping stuff and saying stuff that didn't happened while they were recording it.
Well, remember, actually, that's the whole ideology thing. Since they see things in such a completely different light, they just think, oh, okay, I am in the right here. And then once people actually see it, that's not necessarily the case anymore.
For example,
See,
I'm just saying,
this whole thing could have been. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm just saying, the woman who got that guy is going to be on Gawker.
Oh.
If she didn't send in the video, apparently the guy in the Uber driver, he actually did get fired. Then she sent him the tape, and then they rehired him.
Yeah, I know. It was great. It was hilarious.
Yeah, she sent him the tape as proof, and they looked at it and went, "No, he didn't do anything wrong."
Yeah, if anything, they're thinking, "Why did we ever fucking listen to you?"
Well, this is the thing. Normies, when they hear a story like that, it's like nobody acts like that. You've got to be lying.
Yeah.
As I was saying, that's their biggest asset. They're so crazy, no one believes they do it.
So,
You didn't think of like the pillaging of like the continent of Hawaii?
The continent of Hawaii. Oh.
I apologize if that's a little too accurate for some people.
I want to find her, grab her by her lower lip, throw her into a school desk, and start lecturing her on basic Earth science concepts.
Or alternatively, you could go on Twitter and be like, "Hey, I disagree," and then she'll block you.
Well, she'd do more than block you.
No. She'll.
I'm going to ensure that this tweet is on Gawker.
Oh my god!
Was this before or after Gawker closed? I think it was around.
It was after. It was right.
Oh god!
Pretty much right after.
Ugh. Anyway, going to games that have a a fan base which really puts people off. I've been playing Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, yeah.
Which one?
Which one? The new one.
Oh, the sister location?
I'm possibly the only person to buy the game with the intention to stream it on YouTube and scream too loud.
Good point. So,
I kind of want to look at it because it sounds like it might be better.
Yeah, that game is a little interesting. I've seen a bit of it. It looks like it's more story-based rather than, it's got more of a story to it.
It's got a lot of humor as well.
Yeah, it's all like the quirky humor, but it's not done excessively from what I've seen. So.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, it's like it's weird. Like it goes from 0 to 100 extremely fucking quickly.
It's also by far the darkest one.
I've seen a bit of it. Like by the fourth night. I mean, let's be honest. You guys aren't going to play it. I mean, he's already played it, and you guys aren't going to play it. So
I'm going to look it up.
Keep in mind, the first games dealt with child murder. This one is somehow darker.
Yeah, so let me put it like this. On the third night, you actually have other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's great. And then by the fourth night, when you're supposed to check on like the robots that are in the stand, guess what? Those two other people, they're literally hanging there. No exaggeration, they are hanging there.
Yes, there he goes. Check on Ballora, and you press the button, and you see this guy swinging from the ceiling, and he goes, excellent. Now check on the other one. You press the button, you see him also swinging from the ceiling, and he goes, everything as it should be. It's like, whoa, this is creepy.
Oh,
Wait. He actually says that?
You get like a little robot assistant.
There's an AI constantly telling you what to do.
Like, he's not bad. He's just like, he's automated.
Yeah, this game does actually do a hell of a lot better explaining to you what you're supposed to do than the other ones do.
Yeah, and
so he sounds worse than GLaDOS.
Well, it's actually kind of weird. This game, with the exception of the final night, depending on what you do, you don't have like you have to survive until morning. You just have to do your job.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of interesting. I like that.
It's objective based as opposed to just survival based.
Yeah. So, I mean, there is still an element of survival, but it's just like, can you survive your job? As soon as you do the stuff you're meant to do, well, you're free to go. You go and you go home and watch TV, literally, while eating some popcorn.
Yeah, and the best part about it is that one of the animatronics is talking to you. It sounds and you go through the game thinking it's the baby who seems to just want to help you, but then things get really, really not good. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
it does have it's got a good twist.
Yeah, it gets really sort of creepy. It's like, I kind of like that, to be honest. It's creepy.
Does anyone know if there are any super homoerotic Fallout mods?
Oh, of course you do.
Yeah,
Fallout New Vegas.
There's one. It's called the Puppy mod. You get to play as Plipster.
There is a Rocket Lombax mod done by a furry Lombax from the video
Ratchet and Clank.
Yes, only he's big and buff and very obviously designed by a furry.
No.
To be completely honest, I do not like the term gay. I prefer colossal pervert. Thank you.
I prefer the term butt stuffer.
I'm unisexual. If it's a unicorn, I will fuck it.
I thought you were saying if you saw a unicycle, you'd like just dive onto it.
I have dove onto a unicycle once before. I try not to talk about what happened after.
Happy squeaking all night.
If it shits out rainbows and barfs out happiness, then yeah, I could do it.
Vomiting happiness. But yeah. Also, I've been doing a whole bunch of Overwatch, because that's what I do. Also, I've actually figured out what the hell's... Have you ever had something that it's not quite an injury, but there's something weird happening with a body part, and you don't know what it is?
Yeah, what about it?
I've noticed that my leg, when I wake up in the morning, did you know? There's an indent on the side of my leg, and I thought, oh, that's weird.
Oh, yeah, I remember. I noticed that when I went to EGX with you.
So I'm getting the feeling that's not like muscle cuts and that's the indent. I mean, that's the distinct feeling I'm getting.
No, it's my gaming chair. When I sit in it,
you sit in it too much.
Yeah, when I sit in it, I lean to one side, and so I've got to just either get a new chair or not play games for a while.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
I need to get you on my exercise regimen.
I've got one.
It'll get you up and out of that chair. It'll get you a little bit more buff, and then you'll thank me for it one day, far in the future.
It's better not getting randomly buggered.
But
just gonna let that one sail by. Okay.
Yes. I've also been trying out some of the mobile games for Final Fantasy. I know mobile games are usually terrible, but they actually came out with one that's pretty decent. It's Brave Exodus.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually got a story to it, which is nice for a mobile game. And it's like I don't know if any of you have played Record Keeper, Final Fantasy Record Keeper, but it's like an upgraded form of that. But you can walk around in towns, and I don't know. Check it out. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. this is not a shill. I'm sorry.
You're
I
not
just kind of
affiliated
like
with
it
the product in question.
Yes, I'm not. Tech Raptor does not. I mean, Final Fantasy. Does not endorse-
Every show, Tech Raptor does not endorse the show. Everyone, just make sure everyone knows that.
although
views,
I am totally a journalist.
the views and opinions expressed in this program do not necessarily reflect those of
Our
Tech
employers.
Raptor. That too.
Yeah, just anyone that employs us, we're not representing them. Because unlike a lot of YouTubers these days, we have day jobs.
I work for a charity. Yay!
I am basically a charity case. Yay!
I'm at university.
Yay!
Roy, it's your turn.
What?
He just does this all
Yay!
day. He just does this all day.
He sits around and verbally shitposts.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Even when there's no microphone or no one to listen, he just sits there and does it.
Yeah, I'm actually semi-retired after more than 20 years of tech support.
Yeah. Oh,
I've got a bit that I live on from month to month. I get by, and otherwise I have fun shit posting on Twitter and writing stuff for Tech Raptor.
20 years of telling people to reboot.
One more.
I am back.
Well, the thing about like calling tech support is I already like preemptively I always turn off and turn on and then they're like, did you turn off and turn on again? I'm like, yes, I tried that just before you, and then they say to do it again.
But the reason why is because that they have to confirm it. Usually places like that, they actually have a checklist, and they're not allowed to deviate from it.
Yeah, usually.
So even if you call in and say that you've done it, they have to walk you through. Otherwise, their boss is like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah, usually it's part of. It's just part of a criteria they have to meet.
That's stupid.
Yeah. Well, a lot of tech support is really dumb. Most of my career, I was tier 2, but I mean, when I started off at places like AOL.
Oh.
AOL was great for 2 reasons. One, you were required to fix the problem or hang up and terminate the call within 15 minutes so you could take another call.
Jesus.
Whether it was fixed or not. These were also in the days of Win modems when you had to walk somebody through various text files on their PC to find out what friggin' model they even had and get the right codes for it. So you were on a real time crunch. And the second thing was, regardless of whether you fixed the problem or not, before terminating the call, you had to give them the pitch for AT&T long distance service.
Oh,
I'm just assuming you weren't the guy in charge of putting the CDs everywhere. Even in the UK, you couldn't move off of an AOL discs.
I wish. I'll tell you, one of the best uses I've ever seen for those AOL discs was somebody who made like a wall mural of a giant fish, using the CDs as the scales.
I actually just use them as coasters.
Yeah,
good use.
Very popular.
Anyway, I have to go for a bit. I'll be back in probably 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
That's how many shakes of a lamb's tail? About 1,503. Okay, I'll have to carry the 1.
6. I'm going with 6. Is it 6?
hey, oh yeah.
600.
So you know how you were saying that this is kind of a mutual hell.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yes.
Oh, I got another one.
No, put that back up. I want to see that again. Was it for my bronies? Bronies for National Socialism?
Ponies against degeneracy.
Ponies against yes. I'm pretty sure I know who those people are, too.
Oh my God.
They have a pony mascot named Ariane.
Oh.
Yep, that's her.
Oh.
She's squashed in the picture, but that's her. Half of them are like, we're doing this to troll, and the other half is like, no, we are totally Nazis.
Oh, so just like Paul.
Yes.
It's Paul, yeah.
It's essentially the brony version of Paul, yes.
That's the funny thing about Paul that people don't realise that some of them are so completely unaware that half the people there taking the piss.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them take the piss, some of them don't, and I don't know, man.
You can't tell after a while.
Yeah. But it's, yeah, I have to say, that was a good follow-up I did for the solid one. It reinforces Clips are saying it being a mutual hell.
I just can't believe that there's a pony version of Paul. I think it's amazing. To be completely honest, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all.
Well, meanwhile,
it is literally where it was going. It's where it was going. When we have when you've got things like fairies for Trump wafting around out there, things are getting strange.
There we go. Well, to be honest, it's also a mutual hell for whoever's up there in the sky.
What the hell is dabbing? I don't pay attention to people anymore. They're horrible. They scare me because they come. Ever since twerking, I stopped being a part of the human race. I just retreated.
See, this is why we're doomed as a species. All you need to know how fucked we are as a species is to look at this picture.
I've often noticed this about social media. The problem with social media is it's kind of showing just how completely stupid everyone really is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like, remember the whole planking phase?
Yeah, oh god, yeah.
And remember when people planked onto railway tracks?
Oh yeah.
Really clever.
Yeah, and they actually got run over.
Yes.
Good times.
We had lift shaft daring in the 90s, which is where you broke into a lift shaft by forcing the doors, and you jumped from car to car as it moved up and down.
Oh. I mean, it's...
At least it solved the problem on its own.
I'll give a little bit of credit. It's at least kind of cool. But this is just idiotic. Oh well.
Has anyone got anything else they want to talk about while we're here?
So, let's think.
Because I've run out of things to talk about.
Alright, so we've done the Ferocity thing. We've done...
We've done Ferocity, we've done Nazi ponies, we have done...
we've done Fallout ponies.
Fallout ponies, we've done Five Nights at Freddy's.
Ponies.
Most of the clickbaity subjects are gone. That's where we're fucked.
The Trump thing is basically...
And we're going into the debate later on tonight.
Oh, boy.
Really?
Is the second debate on tonight?
Yes. Virtually everything that will be really awesome to talk about for the next week is going to happen in several hours.
Oh, my God.
Oh, the last debate, it was nowhere near as awesome as I was hoping. It was really dull. I remember they had the vice president debate. I love the fact at the beginning the woman was saying, "Welcome to the first and only presidential, vice presidential debate." And I was expecting her to say, "Because nobody cares."
Oh dear.
Well, they're just going, "Come on. We can get done in 20 minutes if everyone just gets through it. Come on." And I came away from it just not liking both of them. That's pretty much how it works. Then again, I got bored in 10 minutes. So
yeah, I'm just trying to think what else has been on lately. Because I do know, are the EU still doing their idiotic copyright thing?
The EU,
yeah, because they have a thing lately that's just let me explain. Basically, this thing is just a really asshole-ish copyright law.
Okay.
Well, it basically copyrights links. So on
What?
URLs, yeah. So
Okay,
it copyrights a link to like a website or anything like that.
How copywriting? How that's like copywriting a pathway. It's
Yeah, and it sucks for me because actually I work in that business because I rely on linking in some cases. So that would be really fucking bad for me. But thanks that we're doing the Brexit, you know, we dodged a bullet there, but it's still retarded.
yeah. It's. What is with the EU? Have they ever since Brexit? They've just been acting really weird.
Oh wait, hold on. I actually do have something else to talk about.
Okay,
There is.
Well, excitement.
Have you seen that tweet from the UN women?
Oh yeah.
No,
Oh,
I
God.
haven't.
Oh,
Oh boy, you are in for a bloody treat, I must say. Oh boy.
go on, bring it up, and we'll have a look at that.
This is quite frankly, you have to just wonder what it takes for someone to actually
Think this.
oh my god, yes, here it is.
Alright.
It is. Oh, this is amazing.
Mhm.
You have to admire the thought that was put into this. Alright, so this is UN Women. Oh, wait, hold on. This is better.
Okay. Let's change the way we protect our communities so that both women and men can feel safe in the event of a natural disaster.
Disasters such as drought, floods, and storm kill more women than men due to structural gender inequalities.
Why, the building's designed to fall on women harder or something?
This is a real thing from the United Nations.
Holy.
What was that? I didn't see.
It's on the share.
I want you to observe. And,
Oh. Yeah, I've seen this. Hurricanes are totally sexist and racist now.
and droughts.
And droughts.
It's like that.
Weather hates women.
Actually, we should just so that we are, due to the UN Women's advice, we should be less sexist. And Doge, what is your thoughts on this?
What, on this tweet?
Yes.
I think it's utter bollocks. Like, it's like that BLM thing where they said that, what was it? The air pollution was racist.
Oh God, yeah, that was.
It's just rubbish. Like, I just.
I found this one guy. It was from the BLM talking about the hurricane that's hit. Hurricane Matthew happens on the same path as slave ships in the transatlantic slave trade.
What the hell? Like,
Everyone, basically, they are saying that this hurricane is racist because it's following the same path as transatlantic slave ships.
oh my god, they've reached a new low. I think. Like,
I was at a new high because holy shit!
oh yeah.
Like
So often,
you must be really
so often I look at these things and I think, what? This doesn't. How?
What thought process is needed in order to just think this?
It's like human race wipes out women most affected. It's
Oh,
Which
that was
would
supposed to be a joke.
which in theory,
Nope, it's totally legit.
yeah.
Totally.
Well, actually, since there's more women than men in the world, yes, that makes sense. But still, it's just an odd way to go about it.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, yeah, sure, we're in an extinction event, but women are most affected.
By not
Extinction
existing.
event. It's just like,
Well,
it's nice and all, but we're literally going to die.
Okay, it's UN Women, and here's the thing. People forget that when you have established a bureaucracy, the first mission of the bureaucracy is to continue its own existence and thereby keep all its members employed. and all the people who the members bring in, and so on and so forth, which is how bureaucracies get bloated and useless over time. They have to find something to complain about. This is the same UN Women's Council that complained to Japan about anime, and Japan actually told them, anime is not real, go away.
Yeah, they told them to fuck off. It was wonderful.
It's the same people. They have to find things to complain about. And mind you, they have done some good call-outs against actual nations that have abuse problems in the third world. It's just that those aren't the ones that get anybody's attention because everybody already knows.
What everybody cares about is Hermione was upset because someone called her bossy once.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, there is a picture of Emma Watson with a guy, and she's grabbing her pussy too.
No, he's grabbing hers, I thought.
Well, it's kind of like grabbing, isn't it? You have to grab it first, then you could, I don't know where I'm going with this, but
I'm just curious.
But the point is that he gave it a good grab, and
Good,
you're wondering,
one. Good.
You're not sure whether he for she or Make America Great Again.
Yeah. Oh boy, it's just. Oh my god. Yeah, it was. I don't know what to say much about the UN Women. It's like I always say. It's like it's kind of like a fire service, which is paid per fire it puts out.
Yeah, and also
the UN has been politicized for so long about everything that it's their first and foremost concern is international politics. So everything that they do is through that focused lens. I used to love doing deep dives on UN documentation.
Oh yeah.
And so I, for example, actually have read Hans Blix's reports to the United Nations where he said that Iraq had not accounted for 1,000 tons of chemical weapons.
Yeah.
And also said these must be considered to be unaccounted for and therefore they're in violation of requirements. This also included the stuff about anthrax. Now, the funny thing was, once this all became politically incorrect because we didn't find any of it after going in, at least not in substantial amounts, we started hearing people, essentially scrubbing that stuff that he had said from various things. And people were like, oh, he's made all these public statements that don't include that information. Yeah, but it's in his official report. But he's not saying it publicly. It wasn't in his tell-all book from 2003. He's a politician like the rest of them, and their first concern is we have to save our own face. UN Women's Council, same thing. Virtually everything the UN does. It's why you have Syria and Saudi Arabia on the Human Rights Council.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's
and Saudi Arabia is the head of it.
Because it's their turn.
Saudi Arabia is the head of the.
Literally because it's their turn, and the UN, because of their politics, cannot be judgmental towards any one country for fear the country will start sanctioning the UN and bail out.
Well,
they go along to get along.
Oh, they are retarded, to be honest.
On the face of it, it is. They're trying to hold it together, but the results...
Through the most illogical means.
Yeah, by looking the other way.
Well, I mean, to be honest, the best way you could do it is just generally, oh, okay, you can't abide by our rules, we'll just kick you the fuck out. You won't receive any of the benefits we give, even though they are extremely marginal these days.
Well, I think the one thing we can all be happy about is the UN is not exactly known for wielding great power.
Yeah, especially these days. I mean, look at Russia. They seem to be doing just fine. Because,
no one's ever, because that was that's my first thought when someone said, I was watching Captain America: Civil War, and the first time they goes, what if we upset the UN? And frankly, one of them should have laughed.
Yes.
The UN is not known for its great decisive, swift action on anything.
Oh God, no! Even when it had some form of power, they weren't exactly swift.
Well, the UN. Here's the thing: they're really good when it comes to things like humanitarian missions to arrange for assistance to places that need it, and at least providing a forum for nations to come and try and work out their differences, even if they don't manage it. These two aspects are good, but anytime they get involved in military action or trying to exert power, it's a confederacy of dunces in almost the literal sense of the term, because they all have to agree on shit. It's running a military by a democracy of governments.
Yeah, and that doesn't tend to work so well.
No, and now you have, well, I mean, we've really, I do kind of apologize for dragging this too deeply, maybe into global politics, but is UN Women is just one aspect of the same mentality, where they feel like they have to exert influence to justify their existence.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, that makes sense. But even then, you know, you could also make the argument that there are better ways to, you know, keep yourself in the forefront rather than, you know, putting out something as silly as that. I mean, that's what I argue.
Well, that's the other thing, too. Because it's a bureaucracy, you tend to get ideologues that rise to the fore, and that's why you have folks like Sarkeesian and Quinn going there, because, well, they're high-profile characters. High-profile, involved in a big American dispute over women's representation in video games.
In video games.
Video games!
I'd like to point out that I'm frankly offended that Overwatch has so many female characters. Really offends me. I'm just saying, all the new characters coming out are all female, man. Just saying,
yeah.
I can't relate with them. I can't relate to these characters. They're not just like me.
They don't have a penis.
My moves are nowhere near that large. I am jealous of the size of their moves. Oh, those are females? Now I really can't relate.
Oh, God.
Maybe if I get gender corrective surgery. Well, I'm already a unicorn, so it's already kind of difficult.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you've already got a horn on top of your head. I mean, you don't need the horn at the bottom.
Well, I kind of already have that, but I wanted to stay there.
Subtle metaphor work there, lad. Solid, subtle metaphor work.
Hey,
Well,
unicorn really is nothing more than a horny
I did
horse.
grab another beer when I was downstairs. So.
I gathered. Let's suss that one out.
Well, to be honest, let's think about this. It's not rum.
Okay, that's good. All right, so we've had the...
There's one more thing.
Okay.
Have you seen one of the recent games that have come out?
There's quite a few.
Which was Mafia 3.
Oh, yeah, I saw that came out.
Do any of you know about the quality control issues that game has?
I've been hearing quite a bit about it. I am in the Slack chat for Tech Raptors, so believe me, I've seen quite a bit going back and forth.
I've seen. I played the first one. I thought it was great, even though my version kept crashing because my PC couldn't handle the game.
Yeah,
way back when. Second one I heard had massive problems, and this one.
Yeah, this has massive problems, but it also, like, I was actually kind of excited for it because, you know, I thought they would learn their lesson and make sure that they put out a decent, like a game that actually doesn't fucking crash every 5 minutes. But this is an interesting case because not only is it glitchy as hell, like, for example, there's that famous GIF of your character throwing a grenade into a room of rival gangsters right at the main mob boss. Everyone else dies, but the mob boss just staggers, even though he threw the grenade straight at him.
Jockey, we are not going to finish off Gamer of Ages Samus rape fanfic.
No, Fuck. How does he know about that?
It's pretty much in the archives, dude.
I know, but I didn't know he'd actually watched the whole thing. Fuck.
Yeah, but the ending, well, you know. Yeah.
Well, anyway, there was... What I'm trying to get to is...
Well, you have to remember it's released by 2K, and they're pretty happy with releasing games that are broken and then trying to patch them later. I mean, I've actually had games from 2K. They've patched it, and they broke it more.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. And this game is kind of interesting, because one of its writers is extremely prolific. Have you seen anything about this?
No. I will say, Mafia 3 really did completely slip under my radar.
All right, well, its main writer, heavily apparently, actually has been very
Heavily
prolific.
into drugs.
No, he's heavily supported Black Lives Matter,
Oh.
which is well. I mean, here's the thing.
How does that tie in?
Well, I mean, one, I didn't mind anything of it. I only noticed it. I only started sort of thinking, oh, okay, this seems a little interesting. Because your main character, the main character you play as, is black. So he's like a Vietnam veteran.
Okay, yeah.
And he's black skinned, and I thought, oh, okay, that's I don't think anything of it. But then I noticed with like the writer, like he was heavily of it. He was like the one that constantly tweets it out, and it's like, you know, he even said put out a few tweets saying "fuck the police" a couple of times. Which, okay, to be fair, he's writing a game about a mafia, but even then, you know.
Well, to be honest, if you're writing a game about mafia, you really want to like play down your anti-police sentiment.
Well, the thing is, so Mafia 3 is essentially set in the 60s, right?
Yeah, it's set in the late 60s.
Yeah. That should ring a bell right there with this guy's BLM connection, because if there's one thing that I've noticed from radical activists like BLM and in the American College Society, they really look to the 1960s as being the era of heroes. From their point of view, this might have been this guy's opportunity to go ahead and do the Black Revolution the way he thought it should be done in a mafia background.
Well, they don't seem. Well, I don't know. It's weird because remember, this guy is portrayed, and it's flat out said in the trailers that this guy is extremely good at killing people. Extremely good. Like hell, because the idea with the trailers is that this is during an FBI meeting, so they were questioning like one of the gang members. And we were talking about, oh wow, he took out like an entire bar full of guys just with his knife. Shit like that.
I've stumbled upon something very violent.
We are talking about Mafia 3 and the writer.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, you know, I get that you're, you know, BLM and you hate the police and shit. And
oh yeah, the writer's a big supporter of BLM. Apple.
Yeah, and you know, you should realize that you're only fucking... Remember that only a couple of weeks beforehand, we had the whole airport incident. And you don't need to be fucking up your already disastrous reputation even more.
As I said, I wouldn't mind about them, but remember that time when they tried to shut down that shopping mall?
Oh, yeah! And people just stepped over them.
It was the Mall of America. It was the Mall of America. It was the Mall of America, I think.
Yeah.
And apparently they wandered in, got lost, wandered out, and started basically shouting at a station or something. So they didn't know where they were.
Yeah, it was great. Like, you know, first they started, oh, okay, and like they got lost, and they figured, oh, okay, this looks busy enough. They were gonna lie there and, like, you know, obstruct people's path. People just walked over them. And then what they did then they actually went out. They actually found the exit and then, started yelling insults at a poor bus driver who was also black, by the way.
I remember that when they did their first protest in London. There's like 4 of them, all nicely dressed, all in expensive clothing, screaming, "Whose streets are streets?" And they filmed in this guy who I think was definitely from Pakistan or something hereditarily, and he was just sat there in the traffic with these black guys yelling at them, just looking at the camera like, "What is going on in my life?"
Yeah, and what was absolutely amazing, I found with that is that. Did you happen to catch, like, the names of these people?
Hmm?
Did you happen to catch the names of the people that obstructed the airport?
Oh, you mean in the UK?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
they
actually
were
all
all-
got named. They had like an article that listed all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all like white people who went to private school or something.
Yeah, and not just any white people that went to private school. The absolutes, they were like, they had like
The people had like
really
degrees in
fancy
M&Ms.
like they had Arthur Sanders III.
One of them
One
had
of them
a
literally
multiple
had a
hyphen.
title.
One of them had a multi-hyphenated name, if I recall
Oh
correctly.
yes.
Yeah.
And isn't it one of them turned up to the trial, all looking very hipster, but all of them turned up wearing a fedora.
Oh God, yes.
And when they
You know what? You know what that whole episode reminded me of? An old Monty Python skit about upper-class Twit Olympics.
oh yeah.
Oh.
And I remember when they went to trial and they had the court case and they went and basically just said to them, "All right, community service," and one of them shouted out, "Go white privilege." And it's like, did you think they were going to execute you? Did you think they were going to shoot you for being a public nuisance?
You've
Yeah,
been
being
a
a
nuisance.
twat.
Here's a fine. You didn't really cause that much of a problem because there weren't that many of you.
And
You
even
merely
then-
tied up the courts for a day.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah, and okay, you've been a massive twat, but that's what they were. They were just massive twats.
Yeah.
And what was great was that they were all like really fucking rich white guys, and they were one of them was part of a diversity. I think one of them was on the Council of Diversity for their university.
It reminds me. We'll have the story because we're coming up to our time. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
They had one person put in charge of at a university. I forget, it's an American one. They had a transgendered student be part of their diversity, and this person transitioned from female to male, and they fired him for being a white dude.
Yeah, because they succeeded in their transition, and once they had formally stopped being a trans, they were no longer diverse.
Yeah.
They were identified as a white. They're saying
And this
white
is-
man. That's the one thing you can't have.
The whole
They are now
premise-
the enemy.
Well, it blows their entire premise, which is supposed to be that people of different diverse backgrounds bring the history of that background and their experience. They're literally saying that the second they become a white person, all that experience disappears. It's just gone, like it never was.
Nothing.
You never were trans. You've been untransed.
You were never part of the promised race. That's the vibe I get from these people, to be honest.
Well, no, you have to remember, being a white dude is not preferable. We're
No,
not
no, no,
diversity,
no.
guys.
No. I mean, in the sense of trans.
What this reminds me of more
Mhm.
is running into a bunch of Aryan Nations types who were having a discussion with one of their members, and somebody else accused them of having a grandfather who was Jewish. And as soon as they had determined to their own satisfaction that was the case, they ejected him.
Oh my fucking God.
Because suddenly he he was what they call a mudman.
Jesus.
Oh.
He was a mudblood.
No, they actually call people that are quote unquote impure mudmen, and I used to follow them because I would heckle them. I actually went to a tri-state meeting, three states in the Union, trying to get all their members for Aryan nations together to have a big rally. They had tents, they had a stage, they had big old speakers, and they had all of 30 people show up from 3 states. I just put my heckling cards back. I brought protest cards as like I'm the only protester who showed up. Even the protesters don't care about these people.
No.
So I just went over and started talking with them, and this is where some of this stuff came out. They're like trying to sell me this shoddy-ass Hitler Youth Night, and I just looked at it and said, my granduncle brought a real one back. Off the body of a member of the 12th SS. How much do you want to pay me for it?
Oh, my God.
I think I liked the Henry Rollins method of dealing with the KKK. Because they're going to have like this big march, like years ago, about 10, 15 years ago, they're going to have this huge march of KKK members all going to get together with their grand wizards and march through Washington, D.C.
So
about 12 of them turned up. And what he had this idea is he was going to get all these people, he's going to get black people, Jewish people, all of them, and they're all going to wear rainbow KKK hoods. Actually, they weren't going to wear the rainbow ones, they're just going to wear the normal ones with them, join the march. And then just tear them off and just have one big man-bang interracial orgy going on in the middle of the street. And just chant, we're the KKK, we're black, we're Jewish, and gay, we really like your city, and we think we're going to stay. Woo! That was they were going to just chant that for hours. But only 12 of them, of the actual ones turned up, so it was kind of pointless.
That's the thing. It's great. It was great to go to that tri-state meeting and see how few of them showed up, because it's like, yeah, this is a good sign that this kind of thing is finally dying off in America. It's become so fringe that it is now a cultural curiosity more than anything else.
And yet, people still claim it's a problem.
Well, it has to be a problem if you're... It goes to the bureaucracy thing again. Like the NAACP in the United States fought a lot of great battles, won a lot of great victories, and now doesn't really have a lot to fight about unless they...
Well, they need like an enemy.
And,
like,
yeah,
you know, in order
every
to relevant,
little thing has to... Or actually, it's a bad comparison for the NAACP. They still do good work. But like the Southern Poverty Law Center has always been about fear-mongering. Always. And they even do quite a bit of good work, but are perfectly happy to throw in innocent people into the mix to make the threat seem bigger so they can get more fundraising.
Exactly. Like, I mean, actually, it kind of reminds me of Grand Theft Auto 5 a little bit, where... No. Actually, if any of you played the game, if you played through the campaign...
Oh, yeah. I still pee myself laughing at the border patrol people, and one of them's French.
Oh yes,
doesn't speak a word of English.
That's amazing. and one of them was Mexican too. It was great.
Yes.
Well, basically, the gist of it was that you had to actually work with that with Grand Theft Auto 5's equivalent of the FBI, because they want to stop like the equivalent of the CIA, whose office is literally right next to theirs.
Oh yeah.
And they're trying to stop them from committing atrocities in order to pretend to.
Whoa! Who's breathing into the mic?
Oh.
Not it.
Doge?
No, it's not Doge this time. She spoke this time.
What?
But yeah.
We're trying to identify who's breathing into the mic, because the problem is if you're breathing into the mic, you can't hear yourself breathing into it. So.
Yeah.
Okay, it seems to have gone now. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So, you have the CIA committing atrocities in order to pretend to stop them, so that they could get more funding. And the FBI is saying, "Oh, okay." The FIB in that case, and that's what they are there. They're saying, "Oh, okay. We want you guys to help us stop them so that we get the funding.
Yeah. They're basically creating
That's
false
literally-
terror plot
that's actually-
situations.
Based loosely on real life things.
Yeah, exactly. That's what makes it even better.
So a lot of people, the 90s were big for me. So I remember when the Waco thing went down. I remember seeing all kinds of stuff coming out afterwards when people were still heavily reliant on newspapers for the news.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Browsers were a new thing. And so you had stuff like the BATF doing blatant lies that nobody in the news was catching because nobody wanted to question them. Saying things like, our guys went on the initial raid and they didn't have any rifles or automatic weapons, only their personal sidearms, and we were so heavily outgunned. And then I'm looking at the file stock footage from the raid itself, which the paper is running, showing an ATF agent with an AR-15 in one hand dragging a wounded agent away with the other.
Yeah.
I remember calling up the paper and going like, "Did you check this?" And the guy on the phone initially was like, "Wow, Jesus, we better get right on this." And then I found I was blacklisted from ever contacting the paper again because I was a conspiracy nut.
Oh, dear.
Because I had questioned the official government word. And the thing is, my original point, Jesus, is that the ATF raid initially was about fundraising. The Davidians hadn't done anything that they could pin a real crime on. In fact, their leader had voluntarily gone in on murder charges and been acquitted. Voluntarily walked in. So, yeah, here I am. I understand that I'm being sought. So there were no outstanding charges, but the ATF had budgets coming up, and they had done this before. Well, they would do a flashy raid with all kinds of cameras going and show to the Congress, "Hey, look, we're doing a really important job. This was a heavily armed cult." And then it all went pear-shaped, and suddenly things started happening like only 10 minutes of initial footage, and then all the cameras mysteriously burned out. Shit like that. It's kind of like, this started out as you folks essentially doing what they were doing in GTA. We need to raise money. Let's go ahead and stage a bullshit raid that we can later let everybody off because we don't really have a case, but it'll look impressive. Wow, shit, we killed 80 people, sorry.
Fortunately, I live in the UK when the only thing that we get that day to day is you'll start noticing around budget time, a lot of roadworks suddenly go up and tend to just sit there for a while.
Yeah, we get that. I get that a lot here in London, actually.
Yeah, it's like, oh god, they're suddenly now deciding to do everything at once. So all the roads are all clogged off now. Right, thanks government. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, although they've gotten a little bit better about that recently.
Not here.
Has anybody here watched Falling Down, that one movie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Same thing where the guy's like yelling at the construction worker, "What are you even doing here?"
I'd like to say it's like yelling at the construction worker, but there aren't any. They just block off the roads and just that's that.
Oh god.
Yeah, we're going to be doing something here soon. Yeah, but just later. But as I say, it's always the common thing. As I keep saying, it's what happens when you get firemen who are paid per fire they put out. They start investing in matches.
Well, it's true, actually. So yeah, I'm looking. Actually, funnily enough, while I'm hearing about this, I'm looking at a video of Keanu Reeves actually, and he's actually extremely prolific, proficient with firearms.
To hunt.
Well, no, he's actually going through this big shooting range.
Like, I've seen that, I think.
Yeah, he's got a pistol, an assault rifle, and a shotgun. Yeah, and fuck me, he's good.
Who was it? Who was that guy who... that was it. It was a singer from Korn who was claiming to learn gun kata.
What?
That martial arts with gun... You know, when you use guns.
Gun fu.
How does that even fucking work?
Well, you watch an awful lot of action films, you think I can do that, then you sign up and eventually accidentally shoot yourself.
Oh, is this like the thing where you can hit the blade of a sword that's coming towards you with the bullet of a gun?
I don't think it is. It's if you watch the film Equilibrium, you just kind of
No, it's like they would show like here comes the blade, and the guy would like parry with the barrel of the gun, and then in the process of parrying, shoot the guy 3 times in the chest and once in the face. Because it's all done
like
in slow-mo.
the Cowboy Bebop.
Yes.
I still haven't seen that. You are doing yourself a disservice. It's pretty good.
It's actually pretty good.
It still holds up pretty well.
That's a question. A question for Roy. Did they shoot fire into the Waco Ranch?
No. That's the thing is I'm tempted to say an optical illusion, which is a little bit off. See, the Davidian compound was heated at the time because they'd cut off electricity with propane. And it was also running on diesel generators for their electricity. But propane lighting and heating was their primary source. What they did was that they rammed the side of the building with a tank trying to knock holes in it to pump in massive amounts of CS gas, which is it's not really a gas, it is a microdust irritant. CS2 is a lighter version of it that they use in Army training. I've been hit with it. Now, the CS2, the lighter version of it, there is a blockhouse that you go into where it's sealed up, just like the Davidian compound was when they pumped this crap into it. And you're not supposed to smoke within 100 feet of the blockhouse for fear of a possible explosion or fire. CS gas is extremely flammable. So you've just pumped in a load of gas, and you are now ramming the side of this building, which is lit with propane and open flame with your tank. So there's a point where the tank is backing out of the building, and it's clearly partially on fire. Shortly after that is when they had the fireball that ripped through the buildings. Which the ATF tried claiming at the time, that's their meth lab going up. Yeah.
They didn't have a meth lab, I take it.
No, the information on their meth lab came from the 2 meth heads that the Davidians had actually kicked out and were pissed off at being kicked out over. They were therefore the informants to the ATF and FBI that there was a meth lab. Which, incidentally, was the basis for getting the tanks. Because you can't get tanks for American law enforcement unless there's a drug nexus. And this was one of the most chilling things that I heard from the hearings. The general in charge of the Army task force was asked, why didn't you check any of the information that they were giving you about the supposed drug lab? And he said, it is not the business of the United States military to question civilian agencies of authority.
So a meth head is a civilian agent of authority.
Well, no, you see, they got their information from the ATF, who got it from the meth heads who'd been kicked out for running a meth lab. So that's why tanks went in at Waco, because the Davidians kicked out the meth heads who got pissed.
So they did actually have a meth lab in there, but it was from the... Oh, there's 2 guys who wanted to start a meth lab in there.
Yeah. They wanted to, they tried, and apparently they were discovered and ejected on that basis. They were also known to have records for doing this.
So the moral of the story is don't kick out meth heads?
Yeah, because meth heads will get tanks knocking in your walls.
Happens every time.
Yeah, man. I mean,
notorious for it.
Don't mess with the meth heads. I mean, they know the metalheads, and they will fuck your shit up.
I'm just waiting for Natalie to spin up somewhere and say that she's got a PhD in meth now.
Oh,
why can't the meth community be more welcoming to women? This should be my home. Most of them just kind of lie there and dribble.
Yeah, they look at the pretty lights in the corner.
Anyway, I think that's enough for today.
One more thing.
One thing. Okay.
That actually sounds a little bit like autism because one form of autism has you just looking at the little pretty light in the corner.
Oh. So there we go. Meth causes autism. There we go.
Oh.
Go with that one, Jane McCarthy.
Yeah.
I would like to end on this last harrowing picture that I have available here, if that's okay.
Let's have a look.
It is as hard as you can.
This is gonna. Please don't be clopping. Please don't be clopping.
Please
don't be clopping.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go to.
It's going to be worse.
I don't want to go to friendship state. Oh.
Actually, not worse.
It kind of is. Oh. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that the pistol is designed based on the.
Yes, it is that gun being wielded by Pinkie Pie, who's just taking Benny's head off in New Vegas.
I keep forgetting that's the one that they modeled those guns based off of the ones in. What's that film?
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner. Yeah, they modeled the gun based off of it. I always found that cool, but
That's why they call it that gun. It's one of the most popular firearms in the Fallout community.
Well, yeah.
Just thought I'd go ahead and share that. Yay.
Yeah. All right. So this has been the first podcast about.
There's one thing. There's only one more thing.
Roy, I think you mean.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, there's one more thing. All this actually. The thing with Devin Philosophy always will remind me of our good old friend. I think we all remember the guy who molested his sister. Remember him?
Oh, Nate.
Dude. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. And we will always remember because he did a similar thing to Leo Long where. Oh my God! And he just said, "Done something terrible. What's wrong? I've molested my sister, and now everyone knows."
Yep.
I think the one tip for everyone: don't molest people.
Yep.
Be good. If you can't be good, be careful. And if you can't be careful, keep it off the internet.
Yep.
Yeah, don't tweet about it. Don't tweet that you molested your sister.
To be honest, the only reason people know is because, he fucking talked about it
online.
Idiot.
Okay, I am actually just going to end.
That's all.
We're gonna end on this image, and we're done. After we do this image, I'm going to show this image.
All right.
I think this is the ultimate reason to vote for Trump.
That's it.
That is good, yeah.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
no.
The horrible truth is out at last.
Anyway, this has been the Fireside Podcast. Bad Touch. I am Pippin McGee. With me is Gamer of Ages, Not That Apple, Roy, and for that breath, Doge Queen. So, bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.